भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सत्सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजना गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम्। लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम्। So, till the last session, we completed three main topics, which is the Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So, Jnana Yoga, it starts with as to why I have to learn, what I have to learn, and coming to a situation where knowledge is the only thing which is going to give me the freedom. Any amount of doing is not going to get me to the ultimate goal of Paramapurushartha. Actions are important, it is required, it serves its own purpose. Karma Yoga is important, Upasana Yoga is important. We have to be prepared. If the mind has to be prepared, because the knowledge has to happen with the instrument of the body, with the instrument of the mind, right? Therefore, the steps are important, the preparatory steps are important. And it is not exclusive. We say, okay, I am pursuing Jnana Yoga now, therefore Karma Yoga is done with or Upasana Yoga is done with. No. It is an integral part. It has to sit on that foundation. Right? But I have to come to that stage in terms of realizing that yes, knowledge is the only thing which is going to give me the freedom. That jijnasa has to come. I have to become a mumukshu. I want moksha, therefore I am a mumukshu. But then I am seeking knowledge, I become a jijnasu. And then I go through the steps of seeking knowledge, which is Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. Otherwise, it just sits as information. If it is only Shravanam, it just sits as information. So I have to think, I have to understand, I have to ask questions, the clarity has to come, and then also implement it, live by it. That's why this particular study, it is an integral part of our life. Correct? Just like a sports person, I keep on going back to this example. If a sports person has to achieve, is going to be a top number one of the world, and the coach tells that yes, no, you have to follow certain discipline. Any amount of just reading is not going to make that person a sports person. Yes, he has to go through, he has to listen to the instructions of the coach, understand, ask doubts, and implement it. But along with that, he has to also ensure that the discipline is there. So he said, no, morning you have to get up, you have to do your daily practice. He will insist on certain dietary conditions also. Yes, don't eat this, eat only this, get proper rest. Correct? So to achieve, even in a material world, to achieve things, we have to have that discipline. And if that person's goal is so strong, think that yes, I want to be world number one, he will go to any extent in terms of the maintaining the discipline, forsaking everything else. To the exclusivity, he will say, yes, this is my goal. There is nothing else which matters to me. And they follow that. Now here we are talking about Paramapurushartha, which is much more, knowing which everything else is known, achieving which everything else is achieved. So for such a goal also, it doesn't come in easy. Yeah, there are no shortcuts here. Therefore, the discipline has to be followed. So whatever we'll look after today's topic in terms of sadhana chatushtayam, etc., and it talks about disciplines. Again and again it talks about discipline. Krishna also keeps on again coming back to disciplines. To Arjuna, right up to the 16th chapter, he is again talking about discipline. Because without that foundation, knowledge will not be able to settle in properly. Even in medicine, they say pathyam. There is pathyam and then there is medicine. What is pathyam? It is the preparation of the body. This is the doctor will say, don't eat this, don't do this, eat medicine only at this time, take proper rest. Because the body has to be prepared to accept that medicine, assimilate that medicine, and then only the cure becomes 100% from the root cause. So along with this, the next another important topic here is about bhakti. Right? So first again, let us understand what do we understand by bhakti. Before that, any questions till Jnana Yoga, last week's topic? Any other questions or doubts? So bhakti, what is our understanding of bhakti? Devotion. Worship of whom?
God.
Worship of God. Any other principle we call it as bhakti? You said love. Do we use the term bhakti for anything else other than devotion towards the Lord?
Respecting towards people also. Respecting
Elders. So we say Matra Bhakti, Pitra Bhakti, Guru Bhakti, Desha Bhakti. Right? So basic principle there is love. But we don't call bhakti for any form of love. Right? I love my car. But I don't say, I've got bhakti towards my car. Right? So we say only for something which is of a higher principle. Something which is pujaniya, which needs worship. So there we say bhakti. We use the word. So it is basic principle is love, but it becomes bhakti when that is of a higher order. Now when I say, let us come back to basics, where I am today. When I say, okay, I am a bhakta. Okay, what does it imply? When do I say, why do I say that I am a Krishna bhakta or I am a Shiva bhakta? What is it that defines me as a
love for acceptance? Love towards Krishna.
Love towards Krishna. Unconditional, yes, we'll come to that. Yeah? Well, let us start with love. Why do I love Krishna or Shiva? Why? Why do I love only Krishna? Because of Bhagavad Gita. Why Bhagavad Gita?
It preaches so many things which can be implemented in life, day-to-day life.
Whose life?
He is a last resort.
Our own life. So, my life, correct? I am getting something important for my life, for the betterment of my life, through Bhagavad Gita. Now let's just analyze this particular example. Through Bhagavad Gita, I am getting that. Krishna, so I love Bhagavad Gita, right? Now Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita, so I love Krishna. Now look at that sequence. Look at that sequence. I love Krishna because he gave Bhagavad Gita. I love Bhagavad Gita because it is helping me. And so, what do I love really?
Me.
Correct? We'll come back to this. Any other reason? Why do I say? How do I say that I am a bhakta?
Complete surrender.
Complete surrender.
Surrender.
Who is surrendering?
Again,
The
Atma or the soul. The person, not the Atma.
Okay, let us Atma. We'll have another main discussion is there on Atma. Okay, I am surrendering. Right? Have you already surrendered?
We have not come to the stage. No.
So that means you're not a bhakta yet. Correct? So you're not yet surrendered. Yeah? Atmanivedanam has not yet come. Okay, in terms of the Navavidha Bhakti, Atmanivedanam is one of the Vedas, one of the type of Bhakti which expresses. See, those are all, when we say I am a Bhakta, or when we say, oh, she is a Bhakta, he is a Bhakta, What are we actually trying to capture by that term there?
If we say Ishwar is the karma phan data, Ishwar Arpanakriti is the Krishnakriti, we are accepting everything.
Correct. So that is the karma yoga part of it. But I am talking about, say, a basic example. When we say, oh, he is a bhakta or she is a bhakta, how do we come to that conclusion? They are a bhakta or they have bhakti. How do we say that?
Following the deity, particular deity,
Ah.
or the spiritual essence towards one particular deity.
So we see that this person is having devotion or doing certain actions which appears that yes, they are having devotion to this particular deity. So it is because of that actions I am telling that, oh, he is a Shiva Bhakta or she is a Krishna Bhakta. So certain actions indicate that they have bhakti. Correct? So this is from an external point of view. So some karma is involved. Right? So that is one aspect. Now let us come back to my own aspect, the example with Antiji told just now. Right? So in love, when I say that I love something or somebody or some experience, correct? So there is a love of that particular goal. We keep that as a goal first. I want to go to a particular place, spending my hard-earned money. I want to go on my dream vacation. Why do I want to go to that place? Experience. So I believe that I love that place, and I believe that that particular place, going to that place is going to give me an experience. So therefore I choose that goal. I try to find more about that goal, correct? And I love that goal now. I want to achieve. Whether it is an experience, whether it is a place or a person or a material, I love that and I want to get that. That becomes my goal. Now to achieve that goal, there is a particular means. I have to do something, or I have to travel, or I have to know something. So there is a path which I have to adopt. If I have to go to a place, I have to travel. I have to choose a mode of travel, a particular vehicle. Right? What type of vehicle do I choose? What type of mode of travel I adopt? That which gives me comfort. So to some extent, I have love towards the means also. Correct? But what is my real love? It is towards the goal. So I have love towards the goal, then I have love towards the means. So again, coming back to the example, I want to go to Switzerland. I love the place, I have understood, I want to go there. Then, okay, I am going to take a flight. So I book my flight, say, okay, whatever is the best one, which is giving least trouble to my pocket, but comfort, adequate comfort, I adopt that particular means. I have booked my flight. And when I went for check-in, I got a free upgrade. I booked in economy, that's what I can afford. I got a free upgrade to business class or first class. Right? And I loved the aircraft. This is the best day of my life. I say this is fantastic, 6-7 hours of journey, excellent service in business class, etc. But after that 6 hours, can I say that, wow, I love this plane, I love this business class, therefore I am not going to get out of this plane? What is my ultimate goal? Is to reach the place and enjoy there. But intermediate, there has been a love towards the means which I adopted. Correct? And that ends. The love towards the means, it will end the moment I have achieved my goal. Or take another example. Certain particular goal I want to achieve. I wanted a job. I had worked for getting this particular job in this company. But after what was the purpose of targeting that as my goal? What was the purpose? Why do I want this particular job, this particular company?
More security,
Financial, everything, certain amount of self-satisfaction. Yes, I think that yes, this company can give me the desired results for me to make me happy, and therefore I choose that as a goal. But after joining, after 6 months, things were not, I find that things are not the same as what I expected it to be. Yeah, the job is not challenging, or I am having enough issues in the workplace. What happens to the love which I had for that particular job?
Diminishes.
It diminishes. And will I stay there for long?
No.
What will I do?
We'll try to switch over.
I will switch over. But initially I was so bent upon telling that yes, this is the ultimate job which I want to have. I love this company, I love the place where I am going to work. But the moment my real goal has not been satisfied with respect to my own self-actualization or financial goals, I switch. Right? So there is a love towards the means, there is a love towards the goal, and then there is one more love there. What was the real love which I am looking at when I achieved that goal? It is my happiness. It is my happiness which I am looking at. Right? So if you look at any action which we are doing, the ultimate thing is, yes, to reach that, we say this goal, I have a means, but ultimately there is a third thing aspect which is myself. I am looking at the real goal which is my happiness. In and through every goal, every means which I am adopting, it is ultimately my own happiness which I am looking at. I beautifully explained in the Brihadaranya Upanishad, which says that Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. It is for my sake that everything else is dear to me. Whatever I love is not for the sake of that person or that place or that material, it is for my sake. I think that this material can give me happiness today, I get that as a goal. The moment it starts giving me trouble, I dump it. I change it. Right? I change the means. The first thing is I change the means to achieve the goal. Because the love for the means is the least. If you want to put it in a gradation, the love for the means is the least. The moment it is not helping me achieve my goal, I change the means. The moment that goal itself is not giving me happiness, I change the goal also. That's why we start reviewing our goals. What I wrote 2 years back is not the goal which I want today. Right? It will change. It will keep changing. It is dynamic. Why? Because the ultimate goal is my happiness. So the maximum love which I am having is towards myself. So it says, Yajnavalkya says there, Nava are patyuhu kamaya patif priyo bhavati, atmanastu kamaya patif priyo bhavati. It is not for the husband's sake that the husband is being loved, it is for my sake that I am loving the husband. And says that Nava are jayaya kamaya jaya priya bhavati. It is not for the sake of the wife that I love my wife, it is for my own sake. This is from the Upanishad. Then Nava are putranam, children. Then says Lokanam, it's for the world, I love the world, not for the sake of the world, it is for my sake. Devanam, I love God, the various gods, not for God's sake, but for my sake. Bhutanam, all the materials. Brahma, Kshatrasya. And then he concludes, Navare sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati, atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. If we analyze, that is the real truth. And there is a reason why it is like that. Yeah? So it is for my own sake. Even when we say that, yes, you were talking about unconditional love. What exactly is unconditional love?
Without expectations, getting love.
Mm-hmm.
Showing love without any expectation in return.
But does it really happen? Even when we say children, okay, as an example we say that yes, children we love unconditionally. Right? But the moment you said expectation, the moment that expectation doesn't match the reality, what happens? When we say we love certain things, whether it is people or experience or place, it is with respect to what that can give to me. With respect to certain expectations. The moment it deviates from that expectation, the love changes. Correct? It diminishes because Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. Even when we say, the children running around, we want them to be safe, etc. Because what is the immediate thing? The moment they get hurt, we shout at them. That is the immediate reaction. I told you not to jump, not to do this. You got hurt. Now we have to rush to the hospital. Because my plans are disturbed. Because of their pain, I am in pain. Okay, let us take that as a thing. In terms of telling, I am not able to see their pain, them suffer, I am in pain. There also the I comes in. I say I am helping people. He said, okay, Manushya Yajna, great. We help them. Say, because I am not able to see their suffering. We tell that. I can't stand their suffering. Again, the I comes there. It's not for their sake that I am doing it. It is for my own sake. And so even, this analysis of suicides and all this thing, they are telling it is because I am not able to see my pain. I am not able to stand that pain. Therefore I do that. Therefore I take that extreme step. There also it is Atmanastu Kamaya, Sarvam Priyam Bhavati.
Self-sympathy.
Self-sympathy. I am not able to stand that pain. Yeah? So, love. There's a love for the means, there's love for the end, there's a love for oneself. So it is called Manda. Love for the means is Manda, it is the least. Love for the goal is Madhyama. And love for oneself is Uttama. Now let us extend this example to Ishvara. This is one standpoint of Bhakti. Right? Why do I love Ishvara? Mamopata samasta durtichettvara Sri Parameshwara Prityam Sri Narayana Prityartham. And then we say, this is what I want. Chaturvita Phala Purushartha Siddhyartham. Yeah? Mano Vanchita Sarva Abhishta Siddhyartham. Yeah? Udyoga Dwara Sarva Unnati Praptyartham. We give our list. We do a puja, we give our list. I want this. No problem. I am doing as per what is prescribed in the Vedas. Veda Purva gives me that liberty to do it. So what is my goal there? What is my goal there?
My happiness.
These materials. Why the materials? Because through the materials, I want happiness for myself. And we say, okay, sakudumbasya, sabhratakasya, sabandhukasya. We include them also. And finally, you may say, loka samasta sugino bhavantu. Fine. But my all those things, please account it properly. So I give my name, nakshatra, gotra, etc. so that it is accounted proper. After that, something is left, loka samasta. Fine. But the moment it is not achieved, what happens? So one is I want to get rid of pain, durita nivaranam, and then sukha prapti. Right? If that is not happening, what will I do? I am going to a doctor to get rid of my pain of a disease. The moment it is not happening, what will I do? Will I just continue with that doctor there? I will change. I will ask others. I will do my own research. Say, doctor is no good. Why? Why the doctor is no good? Somebody recommended that doctor, that hospital, because it worked for them. But it didn't work for me. Therefore, then I categorize this doctor is bad, this hospital is bad, and I go to the next one. Because my goal is not satisfied, is achieved. We do the same thing with Ishvara also, right? Yeah? I say this prarthana is done, this pilgrimage is done, somebody recommended, okay, fine, it was done with proper consultation, etc. But if it is not achieved, what do? I go to another astrologer, saying that this is not happening, this didn't work out, or even change the astrologer, because the astrologer is not the goal for me. The goal is, myself, my happiness, that has not been achieved. So I change. So what is my relationship with Ishvara there? Is Ishvara a means, or is Ishvara a goal there? My relationship with Ishvara in that particular transaction is Ishvara as a means. That is why my love towards Ishvara in that particular example is the least. Because the moment my goal is not achieved, I change the means. Because my goal is to get rid of my pain. That has not happened. Correct? So that is Manda Bhakti, the least. One type of Bhakti. Then, second stage, where I say that no, I have understood that Ishvara is embodiment of happiness. Ishvara is embodiment of peace. Ishvara is embodiment of security. And therefore I make Ishvara as my goal. Right? To understand, to make something a goal, I have to understand more about Ishvara. I have to know Ishvara. If I listen, okay, let me understand Ishvara. Right? So that I attain Ishvara. I say, okay, Ishvara Prapti. So there I make Ishvara as the goal. Right? But you come to a third stage where I understand that Ishvara Swarupa and my Swarupa is the same. Right? Because my ultimate goal is my happiness. I want to attain Ishvara, because attaining Ishvara I am secure. Attaining Ishvara I am total peace. Attaining Ishvara I am total happiness. Satchidananda Swarupa. But once I realize that Ishvara Swarupa is same as my Swarupa, then there is no more seeking there itself. It's just a understanding. So that is Uttama Bhakti. Right? So that's why even quoting again Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Chaturpita bhajante mam jana sukritinaha arjuna arto jijñasur arthati jnani cha bharatarshava. He gives 4 categories of bhaktas there. So first is Artha Bhakta. Artha Trana Parayana, we say, no? Say Artha means when there is distress, then you call Ishvara. Till that time, Ishvara is just existing and it's a concept. If I am in pain, I am not able to solve, then I shout Ishvara, oh God, help me. The Lord helps you. You say, Lord Krishna himself says that even such a Bhakta is dear to me. At least he is remembering me at the time when he is in distress. I help them. Then, second level, Artharthi. Artha, then Jijñasu, then Artharthi. Where this person has realized, so at the time of distress I am calling for help and Ishvara is helping me. So after some time, what if I am an intelligent person, what will I realize? Huh? One is I should not get into difficulty. Suppose you just take it as a person. Every time I need help, I call this particular person and he helps me.
Why not I call him daily?
Why not? Why call daily? Why not he be with me always? Correct? But for whose sake? For my sake. He is an Artharthi. He has realized that God will give him everything for his own sake. He is called Artha Arthi. Artha here means Dhanam. Artha also means gold. So Dhanam, wealth or security is the Purushartha. The first Artha. So that is my goal. For that sake I am calling Ishvara. Lord says, fine, he is also my Bhakta. He is dearer than the first one, who calls me only in time of distress. At least he has realized that he will get everything by calling me every day, and therefore he is also dear to me. Right? Then third category, Jijñasu. Now, this person is giving me everything, so will I not then have the inquisitiveness in terms of telling, let me understand who is this person really, He is giving, he has got all the wealth in the world, all the security, all the happiness which I want, he is able to give me. So let me try to understand what exactly is the nature of this person. That is Jijñasa. In terms of trying to understand who the Lord is, what is the real nature of the Lord. He says Jijñasu. Next level of bhakti. He is dearer than the second one. And then he says Jnani Bhakta. He is the highest level of bhakti, where this person has realized who the Lord is. So once I have realized who this person is, right? And then I realize that the nature of that person is the same as mine, which is Satchidananda Swarupa, which is compassion, which is love, which is everything. Then, is there any difference between that person and me? I realize that Swarupa is the same as my Swarupa. Yeah, physically it appears different, but the Swarupa is the same. After realizing that the Swarupa is the same, What will I do? Will I say that bye bye? That I don't need you any longer. I don't need to say that. After that, it is everything is the same for me. It is samadarshanam which is there. He said jnani bhakta, having attained that, that is where the real unconditional love comes in. Unconditional bhakti comes there. Once you realize that there is no more hang, there is no question there. It becomes the nature, not even second nature. It becomes the first nature of the person. So, Ishvara as the means to achieve other goals, and Ishvara as the goal itself, and then Ishvara as the self. Aham asmi, soham asmi, saha aham asmi. I have realized that it is the same. So, this is first aspect of bhakti. One particular way of looking at bhakti. Okay. Second methodology is that we talked about actions. When we say that I am a bhakta, or he is a bhakta, she is a bhakta, we look at what actions they are doing to be a bhakta. Some people even want to proclaim that, yes, I want others to know that I am a bhakta. Therefore, I do certain actions and announce and publicize that, yes, I am doing these things. Fine. So, first is we looked at Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga and Jnana Yoga. 3 yogas we looked at. Now, there is also this term which is used as Bhakti Yoga. In the Gita, one particular section talks as Bhakti Yoga. Now, what exactly is Bhakti Yoga? Is it something different from the 3 yogas which we have talked about? What exactly is Bhakti Yoga? Because sometimes we also hear that, okay, Bhakti Yoga is another path to liberation. Correct? What exactly do we understand when we say Bhakti Yoga?
All three are there in
Bhakti.
all three.
The bhakti is there in all three.
How do we say that?
It's a path of devotion carried on by actions also.
So there, in the first part, there is action involved. So when we are doing or in the path of Karma Yoga, what are the principles there of Karma Yoga?
The prayers.
Yeah, Panchayat.
What are Panchamahayajnas come in? But what are the 2 basic principles of Karma Yoga?
Offering the actions to the Lord.
Ishvara, Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. So Ishvara has come in there. Correct? There is no Karma Yoga without Ishvara. You can't be a Karmi. You can be a Karmi without Ishvara being there. But if yoga attitude has to be there, Ishvara has to come in there. So Bhakti, when I say I am a Bhakta, so I am doing something, I am doing puja, I am going to this temple, that is action, that is karma. With what attitude I am doing? Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi, that is Karma Yoga. So what I call as Bhakti to myself is actually Karma Yoga. Right? There is karma, and then with the proper attitude it becomes Karma Yoga. What is there in Upasana Yoga?
Meditation.
Meditation upon what? Am I meditating upon a chair or table?
No, Ishvara.
About it is Saguna Ishvara Manasa Vyapara. Right? Saguna Ishvara. There also it is Ishvara is there. Or they say for discipline I need japa. What japa do I do? On Ishvara. Yeah? I don't sit on table, chair, just because something I need to concentrate on, I don't do that. Right? It is again Ishvara is involved there. Dhyanam, everything in Ishvara is involved there. So what I call as Bhakti is actually Upasana Yoga. Correct? What about Jnana Yoga?
The knowledge to
Knowing
knowing about Ishvara.
What I say, I want to get freedom through Jnana, freedom for myself. But in the process, we start with prayer to Ishvara, we close with the prayer to Ishvara. And now in the Bhagavad Gita, we will send 6 chapters dedicated only to Ishvara. To know myself, I have to go through Ishvara. Right? In and through. And ultimately I realize that Atma Jnanam and Ishvara Jnanam is one and the same. Loka Jnanam The knowledge about the world is no different from knowledge about myself. It is no different from knowledge of Ishvara. So Ishvara, what I call as Bhakti, is actually Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga. It has to come in one of these categories. Nowhere else. Whatever I am calling myself as Bhakti or as Bhakti Yoga will fall under either Karma Yoga or Upasana Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Therefore, it is actually Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga Rupena Bhakti Yoga or Upasana Yoga Rupena Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga Rupena Bhakti Yoga.
So Bhakti Yoga is all the
Bhakti has to be. Without Bhakti, there is no Karma Yoga. Without Bhakti, there is no Upasana Yoga. Without Bhakti, there is no Jnana Yoga. Knowledge, it may be seeking, I may be studying physics or chemistry. That is not Jnana Yoga. That is Jnanam. But if Yoga has to be there, I am uniting with something which is higher, with a goal, and that is Ishvara. Upasana can be there. Just focusing on something, concentrating on something there. But yoga has to come in, Ishvara has to be there. Karma, any action I am doing. But if karma, it has become karma yoga, Ishvara has to be there. So Bhakti Yoga is not a different path. It is not. Without that, all the other three are not possible.
So every person is a bhakta in some way or like.
Absolutely. If it is karma yoga, if it is upasana yoga, if jnana yoga, they are also a bhakta.
Otherwise it's an action.
You should listen to that introductory commentary by Rajagopalachari in that Bhajagovindam, the first cassette released by MS. He talks about bhakti and jnana. He said they are two sides of the same coin. It cannot exist without the other. You look at Adi Shankara, a lot of debates, intellectuals keep debating. He cannot be a jnani because he has given so much rituals, so many bhakti granthas he has written. On Shiva, on Vishnu Bhujangam and all these things he has composed. He cannot be a jnani. The highest of jnanis will be the highest of bhaktas also. We will see that in the next aspect. So this is the second aspect of bhakti. Okay? Karma Yoga Rupena, Upasana Yoga Rupena and Jnana Yoga Rupena. Right? Now the third way of analyzing for Ishvara. We looked at this example briefly earlier. When we talk about the world, right? Or even when a child asks a question, who is God? Or what is God? What will be your answer? What will be our first answer? A 5-year-old, 6-year-old asking. First is, we give some attributes. This is God, that is God. So a rupa, we give a form. That is one aspect. When we say, okay, then he'll ask a question, who created this? Who created this? Oh, this is the carpenter created it. How did the carpenter create it? Oh, he knew how to create it. He used materials to create it. So there was a material cause and an intelligent cause. Then they'll keep on asking, who created the tree? Right? When we experience in the Purna Vidya class, this is how this is how teachers learn much more. The children challenge them. So who created the tree? Ultimately, we will come to a situation and say, oh, God created this. Correct? Either we'll have to say, don't ask any more questions, or we conveniently park the question by putting everything on Ishvara. 5-year-old may keep quiet. After 2-3 years, they will come back with another question. If Lord created it, where did he get the material from? Right? You say everything is created by the Lord. So first aspect is, he is the Jagat Karta. He created the world. Correct? That is the first definition of God which we give. The next question comes is, if everything was created by the Lord, where did he get this material from? For a carpenter, we say, yes, this wood was outside there. Intelligence is within him. He took the wood from there and he created this particular material. So, if Lord has created this entire world, where did he get the material from? And then the material was somewhere else earlier. So, it was lying somewhere. So, who created that? So, then he is no longer Ishvara. Ishvara means Aishwaryatvam, everything. He owns everything, the entire thing. If you say the materials had to be brought from somewhere else, that means this was not belonging to this Ishvara, so there is another Ishvara. So then who owns both the Ishvaras? Who created this Ishvara? Then there is another Sarveshvara or Parameshvara. It goes on infinite regression happens. So then when the child, or even white child, even the adult, when they are ready to understand, that is when we come to the Upanishads. After Bhagavad Gita, the first example is okay. But when it comes to the second level of questioning of the individual, come to the Upanishads. Again, Mundaka Upanishad gives a beautiful example. Yadornana abhisrachate grinnatecha. Upanishad beautifully gives all examples. From day-to-day life it gives. From Grihastha's life it will give. Yeah? From animals. Just like how Vasantiji was explaining 2 weeks back about yoga. It's all from posters of animals, and that is how the yogasanas have come in. Observing them. So here also, looking at the example of a spider, Mundaka Upanishad gives the explanation to that. Yatha urnanabi srichate grinnatecha. You have seen spiders. We can't see spiders in this part of the world. Yeah. But what happens? Just sitting on the sofa, and we see this spider slowly coming from the ceiling down. Yeah. How is it coming down?
Creates its own web.
It is creating a thin strand of the web, and it is coming down slowly in that. Correct? And now I don't like it. I don't like the spider to be there. So, the moment I touch it, what happens to the spider? It goes back. How does it go back? How did it go back?
Through the web.
So does that strand of web remain there and like a rope, and then it is climbing on that rope and going back? What exactly happens there?
The strand also breaks.
Does
Does
it
it break?
break?
No.
For the spider, which actually hangs down, it actually retracts the web back into its body. Okay, the other spider, it weaves the web, to trap the insect. But this one, it retracts completely. It's like the spring, the coil which is there, as if it is being wound inside its body. And then as it is wound, it moves up. That is the example which is quoted in the Upanishad. Just like the spider takes out the material from its own body, as well as resolves the material back into its body. Yeah? Ishvara, the entire world comes out from Ishvara, and he becomes the Jagat Karanam itself. First is Jagat Karta, second level of understanding, he becomes Jagat Karanam. Right? So, when we talked about telling along with the first example, we said that who is God? We give them Rupa, in the Krishna. And once you say Krishna, you have to give all the attributes. Yeah, we have to give the form, the mail, pili, the flute, yeah, etc. We have to give, along with that, we have to give the attributes. Otherwise, you can't recognize who is Krishna, who is Rama. The moment you say Rama, yeah, the Dhanush is there. Right? Then everybody has to be together, then only we become Sri Rama. Yeah? Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrugna.
Color of Rama.
Color, all the attributes come in. So we give a Rupa, we give a form. So along with Jagat Karta, we say Eka Rupa, one particular form we give. Okay? But the moment we say that Ishvara is Jagat Karta, Jagat Karanam, right? Then this material has come from Ishvara. This material also has come from Ishvara. That is what is there in Vibhuti Yoga. We will see that very elaborately in Vibhuti Yoga. Everything is the Vibhuti of the Lord. Everything is the manifestation of the Lord. Everything that is in the universe. So, in the 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, we say, he starts with Adityanam Aham Vishnuhu Jyotisham Raviramshuman. He gives a comparison for certain aspects, just for Arjuna's understanding, for our understanding, he gives he gives certain comparison. Adityanam, out of all the suns, Vishnu is the name of one of the suns, Aditya. Jyotisham Ravihi Amshuman. Among all the celestial bodies, I am Ravihi, I am the sun. Then Marichir Maritam Asmi Nakshatranam Aham Shashi. Out of all the stars, I am Shashi. And then he gives all the examples like this to tell us that everything is the manifestation of Ishvara. And that is embodied in our culture, in our tradition. Jagat Vyapi. Vishnu, the first Nama itself, Vishnu means who is there, all pervading. Then can we exclude? Say, okay, everything else from but not this person. This person cannot be. Has to be excluded because he doesn't satisfy, he or she doesn't satisfy my goal. Therefore, this person cannot be from me. How can that be? How can we exclude?
Because he doesn't know he himself as the God.
So we give the Visheshanams. Everything else is possible from Ishvara. But not these two people. Correct? How can we exclude that? Say this is Vishnu and Brahma, but not Shiva. Shiva is not part. How can that be? Then he is not Ishvara. Ishvara means it has to be inclusive of everything. The moment we say that this person is not from Ishvara, then somebody else has created this person. Then there has to be another Ishvara. We again go back to the same problem there. That's why even in our culture, not only books, you say even any material we say don't push with the leg, we say. That much respect we give. Even moving some furniture, we say don't push with the leg. That is the extent of which how it is imbibed into our culture. You get down from the bed in the morning, you say Samudra, ask pardon first for that, oh Bhumi Devi, I am going to put my feet on you, please pardon me. Then we put our feet. A dancer who is dancing on the stage, takes pardon first. In terms of telling, oh Mother Earth, I am going to pound you with my feet for dancing, please pardon me. Yeah? So a person who is considered the stage, any stage they go, they will remove their footwear. Any stage they go, whether they are dancing or not, they remove their footwear because that becomes a temple. So that it is imbibed in our action, but the understanding has to come in terms of telling that everything is the manifestation of the Lord. So, if everything is a manifestation of the Lord, will I exclude any Ishvara, any form of the Lord? And I say, okay, I am a Krishna Bhakta, I will say I am a Krishna Bhakta also. We will add an also there. If somebody is inviting me to a Shiva Puja, I said, yes, I am a Shiva Bhakta also. Yeah? I will have place for everybody in my puja room. Correct? I will not exclude, because if I exclude, then my Ishvara is not Ishvara. That understanding, once it comes, then I include, at least let me include all the gods first. Then we go to the next level of persons. Right? So that becomes Sarva, in terms of Aneka Rupa Ishvara. First is this Eka Rupa Ishvara. This is my God, this is the only God. Fine. Starting point is fine. But then I go to Aneka Rupa Ishvara. All the forms of the Lord are okay for me. But then I come to this problem in terms of telling that this particular person, how can he be Ishvara's manifestation? Doing so much of atrocities. Let us, for example, tell that yes, confirmed atrocities. Yeah? And not just my perception, it is everybody's perception and it has been proved. How can we say that he is also created by Ishvara? Or she is also created by Ishvara? How is that possible? How can Ravana also be manifestation of Ishvara? How do we resolve that? Reconcile that?
Maybe he forgot the Ishvara. Ishvara Tatvam, he forgot. That's why that is the demon, I think.
Who forgets what?
that particular Atma.
We will see that more. One discussion will be only on Atma. But just to take an example, we say fire. 2 weeks back, one of the buildings was destroyed by fire. But we find that last week, we had worshipping fire, homam was done. Every day we do light the lamp, Deepat Jyoti Param Brahma, Satoma, Sadgamaya. We worship fire, but fire, it is, some fire has killed so many people also. Do we say fire is bad? Do we say fire is bad? Or here is a knife which I am using every day in my kitchen. I need to cut vegetables for my food. But the same knife, somebody else is using it to kill somebody. Right? So do we classify that all knives are bad? Huh? So the next level of understanding, which we'll go through Jnana Yoga much more deeper in terms of telling that Ishvara is not just the Jagat Karanam, he is the Adhisthana. It appears, Ishvara appears as the different forms. With respect to, then there are certain attributes which are superimposed on it, which what you rightly said in terms of telling that yes, where adharma is prevailing, etc., etc., but the adhishthanam, the substratum of everything is Ishvara. That is where we say Ishvara is just the Sakshi Chaitanyam, which is there. Just like the light. You can use the light for a dharmic purpose, Vihita karma, you can use the light for an avihita karma also. Yeah? Who is using it? Yes, that we will analyze when we discuss about Atma. But it is, Ishvara is the adhishthanam, he is a substratum in everything. Just because it is a substratum, we cannot blame that it is Ishvara who has created. The bad qualities doesn't belong to, there is no quality which belongs to Ishvara. Whether it is, he is guna atitaha. When we say guna atitaha, sarva atitaha. No attributes. So even guna is guna rahitaha, is guna atita, he is beyond gunas. Yeah. So that is where for a jnani, once that samadarshanam comes in, an unconditional love exists only for a jnani. The moment we say I have unconditional love, then I am done. Then I need not, nobody needs to give me a certificate. I myself only would know. There is no certification process. Yeah. So the moment we are able to say that yes, I have unconditional love towards my children, towards my spouse, I will have to automatically include others also. Otherwise it doesn't become unconditional. If it is unconditional, it will be unconditional towards everything and everybody. And that is what, that is the ultimate thing for a jnani. Because there is nothing more to expect from anybody. Because their understanding has come that everything is Ishvara. Ishvara is the substratum of everything, including me. So I cannot exclude myself there. Including me, including everybody, including everything. Chara, achara is not just the apparently living things. It includes the apparently non-living things also. Because I think that this is not moving. Who said? Even scientists will say that it is moving. I think that the earth is not moving. It is moving. Everything is moving. Everything is a manifestation. That is why when we go into analyzing it a bit more in depth, we never say creation. We use the word creation for the sake of understanding. But beyond that, we say it is nothing can be. Even science says energy and matter can never be created nor destroyed. Neither created nor destroyed. Shastra tells the same thing. Nothing is created here. There is no creation. It is only manifestation. It is moving from one form to another. Yeah. So I move from Ekarupa Bhakti into Anekarupa Bhakti. And the moment I come to the next level of understanding that everything is manifestation of the Lord, then where is the Lord? Then where is the Lord? Then can I say that only these 10 gods who is in my understanding, or the 33 crores also I include, only they are Ishvara? Then everything becomes Ishvara, right? Everything and everybody becomes Ishvara. So then can Ishvara have a form? The moment I am confining to a form, it becomes limited. So I am excluding all the others. It will be either bound by space or by time. Then only you can have a form. Correct? When I say, okay, I own this apartment, what is it? It is somewhere in the 35th floor. Right? What makes me tell that I own this space? is the boundaries. That's why even when you say that, yes, I own this piece of land, they always say, okay, tell me what are the boundaries. That is what defines that this piece belongs to me. The moment the boundaries are not there, this also belongs to me, that also belongs to me, everything belongs to me, then can you give a form to it? You cannot give a form. That is where you get to the next level of Ishvara in terms of telling Arupa Bhakti. That is what is called Nirguna Brahman. From a Brahman point of view, it becomes Nirguna Brahman or Nirguna Upasana, etc. Dhyanam comes at that level. Yeah. So Jnanam. So only when that understanding comes, I can meditate upon Nirguna Brahman. Till that time, I need a form. So therefore, Dhyanam is Aguna Ishvara Upasana. So we start with Ekarupa Bhakti, and it becomes Anekarupa Bhakti, and then it becomes Arupa Bhakti, just like Chidambaram. This is Chidambara Rahasyam, go to the temple. What is Chidambara Rahasyam? It is space. It is Akash. So, there are three different ways of analyzing. As we are telling that you start with Bhavana Drishti, which is in terms of as a means, as an end, and as oneself, or Sadhana Drishti, which is as a discipline, as Karma Yoga, as Upasana Yoga and Jnana Yoga, and as Devata Drishti, in terms of as Jagat Karta, Ekarupa Bhakti, Jagat Karanam, Anekarupa Bhakti, and Jagat Adhishthanam is Arupa Bhakti. Yeah? Because if you really see, when I say that, yes, I am in the path of knowledge, and Jnana Yoga, so I love that goal. I love that goal because I have realized what it can give to me. Fine. Right? So then I would say that I want Ishvara as the goal. But I will put something as a goal only if I love that goal, I have bhakti towards that particular aspect, and realizing that it can ultimately help me. So coming back to what Mami's first example, that was very apt in terms of telling that yes, I have bhakti towards Krishna because he has given the Bhagavad Gita. Through that I am getting jnanam. That jnanam is going to help me liberate from the bondage of the other three purusharthas, and therefore ultimately through that jnanam I come to the understanding that Atma Jnanam equals Ishvara Jnanam equals Jagat Jnanam. Everything is one and the same. Ishavasyam idam sarva. The Upanishads proclaim that. So this is what the understanding required with respect to bhakti also, because this is often a debated topic. So bhakti yoga is different, but we can analyze. We need not just be too emotional in terms of telling that no, this is right or that is wrong. Nothing is right or wrong here. It is again to understand that yes, what exactly is being done. There is always a doing involved in bhakti. That is where Navavidha bhakti is classified. You do something. You do Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam. You do something to prove that you have bhakti. That's fine. That is where the Navavidha bhakti comes. All are actions, right? Shravanam is an action. Smaranam, remembrance. Kirtanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. Dasyam means as I always am there at their service. Yeah. And then Atma Nivedanam. That's where this concept of surrender also. As is the example, or in a lighter vein, say that this person who goes and says that, oh Lord, I surrender, in the Aarti also we say, Tan man dhan sab kuch tera, So this person again comes, next day also is doing anything, and again next day also is telling, Tan man dhan sab kuch tera. See, yesterday you surrendered everything to where did this come back to? I say surrender can happen only once. It cannot happen. I say Alayam, they say Devalayam, temple, actually they say that it is one way, it is a surrender actually. Samanta let you have merged there. I say the temple also, there are different layers which you go through. Layam happens there. And it can happen only once. There's no multiple. You are next day also you are surrendering means you have escaped from there. Then only you can surrender again. You have gone back to the original position. So it is a related one. That's why the Acharya also included this particular aspect to discuss and understand properly about bhakti, so that we understand it properly in the context of karma yoga, upasana yoga, and jnana yoga also. Any questions? So when we look at actually goals, we come back to the same thing. That's why personally also we keep changing our goals, because it's not helping me with my ultimate purpose. So when we list down the goals and analyze, and where then the priorities will be very clear. What our priorities are, what are actions. Even in actions, every day we are prioritizing. Yeah, there will be hundreds of to do things. We keep on. Every minute we are prioritizing. And so, because we look at what is it going to give me? What does it serve my real purpose? We keep on. We do it in a very subconscious level actually. The responses are all at the subconscious level. But here, when we come to this particular aspect, we look at it from a very we deliberate upon it, really categorize the goals, really look at what is the real purpose, what is the real priority, what is that which is going to give me long-term benefit, yeah, and then actions go according to that. The next topic, we'll start with Sadhana Chatushtayam. So next week we'll have class, right?
Yeah.
And then after that
3 weeks.
3 weeks or something. I have not been also there for 2 weeks probably. So next week we'll have, which is actually the starting point of the Tattva Bodha. So Tattva Bodha is considered as one of the basic text Prakarana Grantha for understanding any other scripture. But what we discussed so far is the preliminary for Tattva Bodha. Yeah. So actually Sadhana Chatushtayam, that's the starting topic in Tattva Bodha. So it analyzes, in terms of the disciplines which are there, then analyzing Shariratrayam, analyzing the body at the 3 levels, and analyzing the body at the kosha level into 5 different aspects of the body, the Pancha Koshas. Then we'll have one discussion on Atma alone. We'll have then about creation, then law of karma. That's one of the final topics within this introduction to Vedanta topics which are there. It's very important to understand. Where does it stand? Karma, law of karma. Why am I here? Why am I not there? Why me? Kind of question. Yeah. Any questions? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.